Morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you joining us today in this live lecture coming to you from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Eke Market Day. Eke Market Day in the Igbo lunar calendar. Remember, the Igbo lunar calendar runs for 4 days, and 7 Igbo market days make 1 month, the one they call 1 month in the Roman Catholic calendar, which we call Izu Nasa. 7 Igbo market days, 7 Igbo 4 market days makes 1 month, Izu Nasa. And in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is 6/26/25. That is in the Roman Catholic calendar. 4 weeks makes 1 month. But in the Igbo lunar calendar, 7 Igbo market days makes for 1 month. And at Nkolo Mahadum, we always advise you to use the naturally given common sense, which we call akonuche in Igbo language. And we are primarily set up to decolonize your mindset from miseducation, misinformation, from our colonial masters. Everything they are showing you through their images and all the information they are bombarding to you is not for your benefit. It's for your worship. And they are not presenting the past. And that is why we are here to save you from mental slavery and manipulations. And that's why we package our lectures from the Igbo, Biafran, and Africa viewpoints, perspectives. That is another reason it's very important that you join, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, and other social media platforms, because what we are presenting to you is the best topics, and from how you should be seeing things. You should be seeing things the way it concerns you. It is very important you see things from how it concerns you, not from how somebody else is seeing it, how an Israeli is seeing it, how somebody from Arab, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia is seeing it, how somebody from America, Europe, and Asia, China is seeing it. No. The title of our today's lecture is that Peter Obi laments at his brother's demolished property. Just a few days ago, on Tuesday, the court saw Peter Obi lamenting over the demolition of his brother's house in Lagos. And we want to use that to present this lecture to you, so that you as a Biafran, you as an Igbo man, so you can ask yourself a question, whether Peter Obi have the audacity to save Nigeria from what he was saying at the address, the location of his junior brother's house, which was demolished. Before we continue, let us see if we can present that video to you, where Peter Obi was lamenting over I cannot. So let me use this pre-recorded um, interview to do it, where Peter Obi was lamenting over the demolition of his junior brother's property. And here we go. Now, Peter Obi said that his brother told him that people just come and jump into his brother's house. Now, we want to ask everybody, is this the first time that you have had people jumping into other people's land in Nigeria? There's millions of times, thousands of times that people have jumped from came out of nowhere and jumped into somebody's land in Nigeria because they know that the country is lawless. And he's talking about court injunction, somebody bringing court injunction. How can everybody agree that the judiciary system has been practiced in Africa and in Nigeria is a failure? So that's why they can get court injunction at any time. You hear them bringing court injunction every time there's court injunction, all the time court injunction. That is what is going on. Let's continue to listen to people. They started to demolish the house, remove the roof, brought tractor and start to demolish the house as fast as possible. But that is how things functions in Nigeria. As fast as possible, they're pulling the house down. And they did. And Peter Obi is crying. The court injunction that they brought that they used to demolish Peter Obi's brother's house is for unknown person. The court injunction was issued by unknown person. That is the country that Peter Obi is trying to salvage. That is the country Peter Obi have made our people, millions of our people, following him to save them from Nigeria. This is the country where this is very, very important to Biafrans, to Ndibo and Africans to know that The Western colonial judiciary and democracy we are practicing is a failure and doesn't benefit anyone. Let's continue to listen to Peter Obi. And within yesterday and today, demolished the property. They've removed the rules of the government. Okay, give me your proper documentation, demolition orders, because even if you want to demolish the house, you go to the state, they give you order to demolish, give you appropriate documentation, bring safety people in there, so that we know we do what it is. Now, appropriate due process is not obtainable in a foreign colonial judiciary, which we are practicing in our land. There's no proper documentation. Who will give you proper documentation? So now Peter Obi have used this one to know that there's no proper documentation. There's no proper court injunction in Nigeria. The Nigeria he's trying to save, the Nigeria that many of our people are following him to save. And we are asking you from Kolom Hadum, do you think that Peter Obi can save this Nigeria that he's trying to save? Let's continue to listen to him. It is now that Peter Obi knows that this is a country of rascality. So all this time he's projecting himself to be the leader of the opposition party, that he doesn't know that Nigeria has descended to this type of rascality, according to Peter Obi. He doesn't know. It's now that he's knowing. Just right now is the time that he's knowing that the country has descended to this type of rascality. Can you believe him? Is he believable? That is what we are saying, that Peter Obi and many other of our people are, are just disconnected from reality. They don't know the owner of the of the they don't know the owner of the person that asked them to demolish the property, and Peter Obi is looking for proper documentation. He's asking them, there's no proper documentation before the house was demolished. Where in this world can you say that there is proper documentation in Nigeria? Where? Where will you have proper documentation? That's what we're trying to ask Peter Obi, because you cannot be, you cannot ask our people to be following you, and then you find yourself into this type of situation, and now you begin to lament that you don't know that this is what it is. So you don't know the country that you are projecting to save before. You don't know. You don't know the country that you are trying to save. If you don't have all this information of no documentation, of the person that is unknown person was the person that is sending them to come and demolish your brother's house. You don't know that this is a country of rascality. How can you save the country? How can you? So that's why we are trying to use this to Tell our people to wake up. That Peter Obi saying he's going to save Nigeria. He cannot save Nigeria. He doesn't even understand the problems in Nigeria because he's one of the elites. He doesn't know what the poor man is seeing. Unknown person. See, that is the country you are trying to save. There's no proper documentation in Nigeria, so you don't know. How then can you save the country? How then are you making our people to be following you that you will save Nigeria? Why you don't understand that this is how Nigeria is? There's no proper documentation. You can go to the court and get whatever you want, even with an animal name. This is even an unknown name. How about if you have seen a sheep's name there, or even or a snake name as the person? You don't know the country that you are trying to save. Peter Obi, you can be here for 7 days. You can be there for 7 days. You cannot see anything. And they can even injure you and continue demolishing that place. You just be there for 4 years and you are complaining. You can be there for 24 hours, 2 days, 3 days. You will see nobody to come and talk to you. And they will continue that demolition in your face. This is what we are saying. The elites, people at the top in Nigeria, don't know what the common people are suffering. How many people's houses have been demolished in Lagos? How many Biafran people's houses? How many Igbo people's houses have been demolished in Lagos? Have people come at any time to defend and talk about those people? Is it because this is now his brother? That is why he came out from nowhere and started to make a case out of this. How many of our people's houses have been demolished in Lagos? Has he appeared once? The answer is no. You are talking about how they have treated your brother. You know how many Biafran businessmen have lost money, have suffered in the Nigerian states? Do you know? Do you know how many Biafran businessmen, Igbo businessmen, African businessmen are suffering in the continent of Africa as a result of the colonial democracy and judiciary? And in particular, in Nigeria, so many Igbo businessmen are being tortured, extorted, and even imprisoned. My in-law was taking a vehicle that we sent to Nigeria more than 11 years ago, and he was stopped and was being asked to provide the custom clearance. The vehicle that had been in Nigeria for more than 11 years. That is in Nigeria for you. And then Peter Obi is saying that this is how can we descend into lawlessness? It is now that he knows that the country is lawless. Now that it affected his brother, the same country that he's trying to save, he doesn't know that this is the level the country have degenerated to. Countless of the countless killings by Fulani herdsmen terrorists across the whole country. The other 2 days ago, this have killed almost 20 soldiers. The other day, is it in Imo State? People were killed. People are being killed on a daily basis. People are being massacred on a daily basis. And Peter Obi is trying to tell us that he can fix Nigeria. It is very, 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 very annoying. That's why we want to use his lamentation in his brother's demolished property as a case study to educate our people, to wake up, to rise up from slumber. That you know how Nigeria was created. You know how Nigeria was amalgamated. You know the caretakers of Nigeria. You know the owners of Nigeria. You know how the Igbo man is being marginalized, exploited, imprisoned, and killed in Nigeria. You know. And you know that Nigeria is falling apart. And you, Peter Obi, is standing in the front saying that you will save Nigeria. And now, because it affected your brother, that is why we are hearing you speak. Because it affected your brother. How about the countless Biafrans? How about many Igbo people that have been suffering in Nigeria? Many houses demolished, many of them unlawfully imprisoned, unlawfully arrested, unlawfully killed, and you are not seeing them until it affects your brother. Then you know you will come from Abuja to come and see what happened. That is hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy. And we are using this lecture to ask our people. An Igbo man, the Igbo race, Biafrans, and Africans. Is this good that a lot of Biafrans have been humiliated, exploited, imprisoned, and killed in Nigeria, and Peter Obi is not speaking? And because it has affected his brother, and now he is speaking. And after he spoke, what will be the result? Again, nothing will come out of it. The house will remain demolished and the property taken. Because a lot of other Biafran, Igbo men business people have also been taken, continuously been taken, because of the fact that we have to go back to our land. Isn't it better you go to our land to invest? Why are you coming to Lagos? Lagos is a landlocked city. Forget the fact that it has seaports and airports, but there's no space in Lagos. It's a congested city. And therefore, Biafra land, Igbo land is still a virgin land for you to invest. You can make money anywhere in Biafra land. In Enugu, you can invest there. You can invest in Oka. You can invest in Onitsha, Newi, Aba, Owerri, Port Harcourt, Cross River State. So many places, Ebonyi State. There's so many places for you to invest in our land. Why are you running to Lagos all the time, running outside Igbo land? Why? Come back home. It is time to come back home. What are we doing? Come back home to save our people from all these type of relations. And before we continue, we have to ask you to please join, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. So that if we implement, we be the first of it. It's very important that you use this incident that occurred to think, and know that Peter Obi cannot save Nigeria. Obi cannot save Nigeria, even if he's president. Because last time we did a election where we even calculated his age, he was born 1961. 1961 to today is 64 years. I mean, to 2027, people will be 64 years. 64 years, assuming he becomes president, he wins in 2027. How many years is he going to rule? Would that 4 years be enough for him to, assuming he rules for 4 years and make that one that he wants to make? Will he stop the Fulani terrorist herdsmen killings across the Nigeria? Will he stop Igbo marginalization? Will he redraw the maps that they drew from the north to Igbo land to include Igbos in Benue and Kogi and Taraba and the Igbo in those states, the Bank people? Will he withdraw the map? And when he left office, just like Jonathan left office, when Jonathan was there, the bag of rice is sold. You know what things are bought for? Fuel. What are the prices now? When Peter Obi leaves office after performing that his magic, how can he assure that the same trend will continue? Meanwhile, the war is rising up. It's not possible that we can survive in that geographical area called Nigeria with the system of the Fulani herdsmen killings, with the uh, Muslim religion, people marrying so many wives and burning so many children. Why many of our people is marrying only one wife and getting few children? In the long run, they will take over our land. It happened in Turkey. It happened in Lebanon. And what are you thinking? You are not thinking. You're not seeing the future. And we are using this lecture to call on all Igbo people across the world, all Biafrans, all Africans, to reject the colonial judiciary system because it's not our land. Also reject the colonial democratical institutions and practice because it is not also working in our land. That's the cause of all this problem we're having. That is why people's houses are being demolished. People's brother's house was demolished and people came over there to lament, to cry, to raise his voice for the world to hear. Say no to those things. And with this, we shall bring this lecture to an end. Before we do, we want to thank you again to please join us, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, so that if we present any new lecture, we'll be the first to get it. Finally, every African should stand up to demolish, to dismantle all the colonial boundaries in Africa, because those are the sources of the wars, poverty, the colonization, the migration, and all the problems we are having in Africa. And answer to our question, do you think that Peter Obi will save Nigeria? Our answer at Nkola Mahadum is no. And with this, thank you very much for joining us, and have a very, very good one. Thank you.